With the new year almost upon us, it's a great time to start working on some new habits. If one of the things you've resolved to do in the new year is to write more or finish one or more writing projects, here's some advice to help you achieve those things. These are tips to help you make and keep a writing-related New Year's resolution. That was really hard to say. Now, I know that this video is technically going up before the new year, but the video I was going to do this week is not ready, so here we are. Anyway, tip number 1, make the right resolution. Resolutions that fail because of vague or unclear objectives are not unique to writing-related resolutions. Again, really hard to say, but they are just as much of a problem. I won't go into specifics here about the proper way to set a goal. There's all kinds of methods and junk that you can look at online. I especially like the specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based goals. I think that's a very smart way to do it. Regardless, when it comes to your specific writing-related New Year's resolution, I would steer clear of things like write more or write more often. These are vague and hard to quantify. You have no way to measure success. This might seem like a plus, as you can technically write any amount and still meet the stated goal, but that's also the biggest problem because it becomes very difficult or even impossible to know how well you are actually progressing. Also avoid setting a goal like writing every single day for the entire year. This is one of those goals that is very easy to miss if something comes up, and it becomes quite discouraging if you miss even one day, because at that point you've technically not met your goal already. Your resolution doesn't need to be specifically related to finishing a given piece of work either. You may, for example, want to find a critique group or start submitting your work to agents or journals. In either case, I would make sure that you're setting measurable targets for what you want to achieve and give a lot of thought to those targets. Tip number 2, give yourself time. They're called New Year's resolutions for a reason. It means you've got the whole year to get there. The best resolutions are the ones that create long-term positive change in your habits and your work. And as the name implies, long-term change takes a long time. If you want to do something like write an entire novel or find a critique group or get published or write 100,000 words in a year, you're going to have to spend a lot of time and effort to achieve those things. And success will probably seem very, very far away. That's why internalizing the fact that you've made a long-term commitment to your goal is so important. Now that's all well and good, but working your tail off for rewards that are months away can be a bit discouraging. So, tip number 3, track your progress and find rewards where you can. Different people face down long-term objectives in different ways. If you're one of the lucky few who can go the distance without any encouragement, then good for you, I didn't make this video with you in mind. If instead you're like the rest of us normal humans, having some kind of success or reward along the way is necessary to keep going. What that reward is will depend on your goal and also on your personality. Different people are motivated by different things. What one person might consider a reward could actually be a problem for somebody else. Say you want to write 100,000 words this year. Just keeping track of your progress and watching the word counts tick up as you write might be enough to keep you going. Other people might find such a count to be overwhelming and discouraging. It really depends, as I said, on your unique personality. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can look up about maintaining motivation and positive thinking around achieving goals. What techniques work and don't work will depend on your own personal psychology. My advice is to try some of these techniques, whether it's tracking your progress, having a friend or partner keep you accountable, or making your goals public in some way, and see what works and doesn't work to keep you motivated. Because, as you'll quickly learn, motivation can be in short supply. Tip number 3, enjoy the initial motivation and novelty of your resolution while it lasts, but don't rely on it. Anyone who's taken on a big writing project will tell you that the first maybe 1,000 or so words are pretty good. Sitting down to write for those first few times is fairly easy. You're excited about the project, the idea is still novel, everything's great. The next time you sit down and the time after that, those times are a bit more difficult. It's completely normal for your interest in a project to wane as the project moves along. That novelty and excitement that you get at the beginning is unlikely to last long enough for you to finish the project. I probably don't need to waste time explaining this because it is, by my estimation, a nearly universal phenomenon. And there is really no easy answer for how you overcome this. Your brain is hardwired to seek rewards and to seek rewards quickly and to back away from things when they don't provide a reward right away. If you want to achieve important things, you need to put the work in. There's a reason there is so much value placed in completing hard things, whether it's climbing Mount Everest or writing an entire draft of a novel. The reason that these things are considered valuable to complete is because most people who attempt them don't finish them. Well, in the case of Everest, most people who don't finish end up freezing to death or falling from really high up, but you need to be willing to do the hard things in order to achieve your goals. This means you won't enjoy the work some days. You need to accept that. This means that you will have to deal with rejection and failure. You need to accept that. This means that you may have to be uncomfortable for months working your tail off before you see even a glimmer of reward or satisfaction. You need to accept that. Now, that's not to say that you should continue with a project that is having a negative impact on your personal well-being or mental health. What it means is you need to find healthy ways to deal with the stress and workload that a long-term undertaking can place on you. Part of that is ensuring other aspects of your personal needs are taken care of. Exercise, eating well, sleep, managing stress, all of those things are very important. There are people out there who can help with these things who are vastly more qualified than me, so seek them out if you need help or some strategies to deal with this stuff. Another important part, at least in my mind, is having clear goals and aspirations for what you want to achieve. Knowing what you want from your work and more broadly what you need to achieve in order to be fulfilled is important. And if the projects you're working on or the goals that you set for yourself are fully in line with those aspirations, then managing the stress and the work will be much easier. It's still not easy, it's never easy, but it will be easier. Remember that hard things are usually worth doing, except writing a transition to the conclusion. That probably wouldn't have been particularly hard, but I just didn't feel like doing it. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found the advice in it useful. I'd love to hear about what your plans and goals are for the new year. If you want some more help with this stuff, you can check out all my other writing advice related videos and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.